A lot of folks online are talking about the jury deliberation in Derek Chauvin's trial and the potential verdicts. So let's verify. What are the possible verdicts and outcomes? Our sources, court footage and rules, and 2 legal experts. Chauvin faces 3 charges: second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. When the jury deliberates, they'll ultimately decide each charge separately. And for each one, they'll vote guilty or not guilty.
So they could theoretically, return guilty on some and not guilty on others, and not necessarily in any order.
That's law professor Ted Samsel-Jones.
They have to be unanimous to find guilty on any of the 3 of them.
It's also possible the jury won't be able to reach a unanimous verdict for each charge. That's called a hung jury. If they're divided on all 3 counts, the judge could declare a mistrial, leaving it up to the prosecutors if they want to retry the case in front of a new jury. If they're deadlocked on just 1 or 2 charges, the court could accept a partial verdict for the ones they can agree on, though that's very rare.
Usually what juries do in that circumstance is they reach a compromise where they can get to unanimity on some counts and then they find not guilty on the other count. If there's really any disagreement, maybe they all say, okay, let's do not guilty on murder 2, but let's all agree to find guilty on murder 3 and manslaughter. That's what juries more frequently do in practice.
If Chauvin's acquitted on all charges, our experts say he could still end up in other courtrooms.
There are other remedies available.
That's retired Minnesota Judge LeJune Lang.
There are federal court civil rights prosecutions and other things that could happen.
Minnesota guidelines recommend the same sentence for each murder charge, 12.5 years in prison, and for manslaughter, 4 years. If Chauvin's convicted on more than one, he'll only serve time for the most serious charge. So the recommendation would still be 12.5 years, though the state plans to ask the judge for a longer sentence if Chauvin's found guilty. It's a far less likely outcome, but there's also concern about the public trying to influence jurors. And if that happens, the judge could call a mistrial and start over with a new jury. That's one of the reasons they're sequestered during deliberation. With your Verify, I'm Gabe Cohen.